This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the rapid reaction of WWE WrestleMania Backlash. We are going to go through and talk about what went down tonight. Another fantastic effort from the folks at WWE. Truly amazing. I have a problem with the way they do the matches, and it's been like this for years now, decades you can say. Is where like they they know one match is going to be intense and great, and then there's the main event, and then they put something in between it so that it can cool down. And there's just no reason to do that, right? But let's get to that later. Let's talk about starting off once again. The kickoff show, no kickoff match. I guess they just decided to stop doing it, so that's totally fine. Start off with Cody and Seth, and boy, this was great. This was another one. This was I see. I think as I looked at WrestleMania. I had Seth and Cody at 3 3/4 stars. I had this one at 4 1/4 stars. I thought this one was a lot better. But this one was, it was fast paced action, but still doing the thing that you need to do for the most part. There are times, Jesus Christ, my fucking chair. There are times when they, there were some things that they did that just wasn't a big part of it, and I don't think should have happened. Like pretty much the finish of the match. I hate that finish. I used to criticize it when when it was the John Cena AA, and he would do the AA roll through, but then when you turn up for the second AA, the guy would be able to somehow, you know, sell your finisher. I have no problem with John Cena, with Cody Rhodes, or with anybody else hitting a finisher and then rolling through and hitting another finisher. I have no problem with that. Actually, I think that kind of makes sense. When when like maybe you hit your first finisher and there's a kick out or something like that. You want to make sure you get it. You want to be sure that you get the victory, right? So I am totally down with all of that. But when Cody rolls through on, he had hit one crossroads, his feet were in the ropes. So when he goes for the second one, he hits it and he rolls through the third one. Seth Rollins is somehow able to fight out, reverse it, and go back to it. And then they do go through and they set up a roll up, and Cody wins with the roll up. And I think there's a better way of getting to that roll up finish without having to do that to Cody's finisher. Just have Seth Rollins no sell the finisher. I don't like that. I never have, and I never will like it. It's just too much, and it doesn't need to be done. But again, having said all of that, I thought it was a fantastic match and a great way to open the show. When you look at the show, that probably was the right way, unless you were going to put the I Quit match in the main event and just start the 6-man tag. I could have seen that as well. But this was, I thought, incredible. Cody himself. There's maybe a chance they're going to go for a third one inside the cell at the next month's Hell in the Cell. We'll wait and see. But that one should be just as great, if not better than this one. Cody wins 4 1/4 star. Great way to start off the night. Then we go to Lashley and Omos. And again, I liked the way this one was planned out. This was about, WrestleMania was about Bobby Lashley beating Omos. This one was about now Omos having MVP in his corner as a way to beat Bobby Lashley. So you can, in a way, say that, yeah, maybe Bobby Lashley is still better than Omos, but because of MVP, Omos now has that extra thing to take him to that next level. And that was good. I do have, I would say this, I do have a problem with Omos and the way he sells. I haven't been really on Omos about his selling, because I know that he's basically been learning on the fly. I don't think he spent any time in NXT. You know, he did one NXT live event, and at that point he was being managed by Malcolm Bivens in that show. Then the next time you saw him, he was the big ninja. He was the big ninja in the stupid Street Profits Viking Raiders skits they were doing in the 2022 during the pandemic. And then he was the bouncer for the Raw Underground. He was that. And then all of a sudden he became, Omos, the personal colossus for AJ. Never since. So, I've forgiven a lot about him to know he's learning on the road. And I see the potential there. I see the potential there, especially in the way they've booked him. I see the potential there. But I will say that he does need to get better at selling. He kind of stumbles around, and I know they want him to sell as if, they want him to sell as if, he's getting hit, but it's not all that effective. But he needs to be a better job of doing that, coming across that, because at this point it just looks like he's swatting away a bee or a fly or something like that, trying not to get stung. But otherwise, I love how this way this went. This is not gonna be pretty. It's never pretty when it comes to these big guys. It wasn't pretty with Andre. It wasn't pretty with many other big guys. But it doesn't have to be. It has to do what you do, and that's tell the story effectively, and that's what this did. Great job by Lashley. Great job by Omos. It's a 2.25-star match, but Omos wins. That's the most important thing. And he wins because of MVP's interference, and that's all you needed. It's a great job by those guys. Next was AJ Styles versus Edge, and I have said this. So I had, I said this to myself basically that Edge and AJ, and for those wondering what the hell is wrong with you, are you on drugs or are you somebody? No, my chair is just totally fucked, and it is what it is, right? So anyway, but it was just really. I've been saying to myself about Edge and Edge that because everybody thought that the match in WrestleMania was like really good, and I really didn't think so. Once again I can say go back and look. I had AJ Styles with an Edge as I had it as 3.25 stars. And I had tonight's match as 3.25 stars. So basically, it's just the same match that they're doing, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's the fact that it is Edge being the heel and him having to be in control, or if it's just the fact that these two are not clicking together as it once was. So I don't know what it is, but whatever it was passable. It was good. I wonder there was a part during the show where they had where Edge suplex AJ suplex Edge onto the thing. I was wondering if he was trying to go for that spot that he did with Ricochet, where he suplexed Ricochet onto the ropes and Ricochet bounced off, and he caught him into a Styles Clash. And I was wondering if that's what he was trying to do with Edge. He wanted to suplex Edge, when Edge to bounce up the ropes, bounce back into him, and he could do the Styles Clash. But he suplexed him onto the ropes, but Edge didn't bounce back. He stayed on the ropes, and then he took him off, got him, hit him with the Styles Clash. And it was a 2 count. Priest, Jimmy Priest came down the ring. He was supposed to be banned from ringside, but Finn Balor came down. They fought, and they even fought into the ring, which of course took away the referee. And this AJ Styles looked like he was going to go for a top rope phenomenal forearm because Edge had been working on his shoulder, and he can't springboard with a bad arm, bad shoulder. So he went to the top. Somebody came off from under the ring, pulled AJ down, and Edge got him down, put him in the crossface, and then uncrossed him and locked him in the sleeper hold and basically kind of choked him out, put him to sleep with that, and Edge won. And he victory, and then the person got in the ring, and who do you think it was? Well, it was Rhea Ripley. There you have Rhea Ripley. So the rumors seem to be true. There was rumors that the Judgment Day was going to have members of Edge and Damian Priest, Tommaso Ciampa, and Rhea Ripley. And we've now seen Priest and we've seen Ripley. We will see Ciampa. We know Ciampa has turned heel. He's attacked Ali the last 2 Monday Night Raws. So we will see if Ciampa comes to fruition as well. Like I said, this was 3 1/4 star match. It's just one of those things that we maybe expect it to be a lot better than it is, but it just wasn't. But it was good enough. I and nobody else should complain about that match. That match was good enough. It was good, and we get Rhea Ripley now in Judgment Day. So we'll see what that is. Next was the SmackDown Women's Championship IQuip match between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. And I said in my predictions yesterday that this felt like something that could use blood, right? You could maybe see something with blood. But this match was great without it, proving once again that you don't need to have blood in every damn wrestling match. It doesn't need to be there. And here I am. I'm calling for it. And Rhonda and Charlotte Flair go out and prove that once again they'd have a great match, and there doesn't need to be no trickle of blood. Great. I thought this was fantastic. I also thought that this didn't need to be a match where they were just going for submissions and trying to make each other, submit that way. This needed to be a fight, and it was a fight. It went into the crowd. We had, using stairs and the banister on the stairs as a way to try to force Rhonda to say I quit. There was chairs, there were kendo sticks, there was table shots, there were all these other things. It was great. It was great. It was stiff. It was violent, and it was great. I watched the Cody Rhodes, Steve Austin Broken Skull sessions earlier today, and they talked about violence, in matches, and that's what they kind of like. And I think they like this one. This one was violent, and I understood what they were talking about. This was violent, and it needed to be, and I loved it. And I actually think that it probably could even get even more violent without blood. The fans were calling for tables. I think they could have easily did that, and they easily could have done some type of table spot. I think they could have done something with the stairs. I think they could have, did a lot of things. But they did what they did. I think they did a great job of it. An absolutely wonderful job. So good on them. And Um, I think it was really really cool. So uh, yeah, I fun time watching. It was great. The finish is they Charlotte Flair gets a chair, sets up a chair, sits on it, and he's she to the referee and says, and she says something about Rhonda. She goes, "Happy Mother's Day," and Rhonda pops up, grabs her arm, pulls her through the chair, gets her to the ground, locks on the thing with the chair, with her in the chair. She's saying no, and then Rhonda tells her to tell the referee with the mic says, "That's what I hope you said, bitch," and then she bends it and then crushes it, and then push it, and at least she tried to push the chair away as if to almost say that it was pulling torque on the chair and on the arm, and that caused Ric Flair, Charlotte Flair to say, I quit," and we have a new SmackDown Women's Champion in Ronda Rousey. Yeah, I love this match. This was incredible. 4.5 stars for me. This was just truly wonderful. If it would have went maybe 5 more minutes, it would have got the full Monty, the full 5 stars. Still, there has not been a 5-star match, 5-star women's match in WWE. Um, at least from me and the way I think, and from a lot of the other ones too that you got who do like the star ratings. A lot of people they love Bailey and Sasha Breaks from Takeover Brooklyn, right? And they talk about a lot of other matches. But for me, as of right now, the best women's match is Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch Evolution, the last women's standing match. I thought that was incredible, an incredible match. It was so close to getting the full mark in that one. I thought that one was really really good, and I think this one is just as about as damn good as that one. That was truly masterful from these two women, and we need more of this from Rhonda, more passion into this. And there was still some times when Rhonda was maybe talking too much and something like that, and not and maybe not giving it all. But I think you definitely think she put more into this one than she had, and then she put into a lot of things, going to, and maybe that's just it. Maybe it's the when she gets in the ring, it's all there for her. Everything else is just like, why are you having me do this? I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. I want to do, I want to combat. So just keep it doing this, and I think she's gonna be great. Don't have her come out on SmackDown and cut some elaborate promo. For me, I feel like that we're gonna see this match inside Hell in a Cell, Charlotte versus Ronda. And if you're gonna do that, then I think you have Ronda come down to that ring, and they talked about Charlotte and her broken arm, so we'll see. So we'll see if that's kayfabe or if that's not, or whatever. But we'll just have to see. We're waiting to see. But for me, if they can, what I would do is I would just have Ronda come down to the ring, have Charlotte Flair jump her. Charlotte Flair try to break her arm, and then that goes into her. That's how you go into Hell in a Cell. So this is what I was talking about, right? So the next match is Madcap Moss versus Baron Corbin. Now for me, this is a match that I think that should have been, it should have been up. This should have come before the SmackDown Women's Championship. Again, if you don't put the 6-man tag last, then I think the SmackDown Women's I Quit match could have been before last, and then you could have had this before. They could have swapped the orders, or you could have had the SmackDown Women's match last, go on the event, and 6-man tag, go on first because Roman only did Roman It's either the first match or the last match. He's nowhere in between, right? For the most part, I think there was one time where he went on second before last. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, that's but yeah, and so and putting that on there, they do that because of cool down. They know that the crowd was going to be tired, exhausted after what the hell Charlotte and Rhonda did, right? Um, you know, but I also think that's what you do. Is what you do is that the next match you start off slow. You don't go 100 miles an hour. You don't need to do a lot of other things. Start off slow, headlock, take over. You let the crowd kind of simmer down. When the crowd, and then when the crowd after 5 minutes, when the crowd simmers down, and you start into it. And when you look at what the business six-man tag, that's exactly how the six-man tag went. They slowed it down for the first 5 minutes of it, and then they kind of got into motion, and then of course they picked it up at the end. So that's the way you do it. And yeah, and listen, the fans have been behind Riddick Moss. That's the real name, Riddick Moss. Behind Madcap Moss, they've been cheering him. Really, really on his side in this thing with Baron Corbin on the kickoff show. They were chanting, chanting for him. The crowd was. But you put them out there in that spot, the death spot, and the crowd tried, but you couldn't do it. And Madcap and Baron Corbin, they tried. They just couldn't get anything together. As well, it was 2.25-star match. Madcap won with a roll up. I think that is something that you could have done after versus AJ Styles versus Edge, and maybe the crowd would have been more into it. The crowd would have been more behind. Uh, and there was some booing, and there's obviously Corbin was getting his heat, but but you can maybe even say that maybe there was booing, and not necessarily booing the fact that it's Baron Corbin getting heat, but booing the fact that you're seeing Baron Corbin and Madcap Moss in this spot, and they probably want to see now the six-man tag. So, but they went out there, gave it a go, and Rick Moss won. So we'll just see where things go on now from here. Hopefully they keep it continue. They want, you Moss can keep his stuff going. And WWE are more continuing willing to let Moss do what he got to do. And finally, the six-man tag, the Bloodline versus RK Bro and Drew McIntyre. And again, it started off slow, but it picked up as it would. You knew it was going to be awesome. Randy Orton hit RKO on Roman Reigns. Drew McIntyre hit a Claymore on Roman Reigns. It was great stuff, great action, a lot of fun stuff. Totally awesome, great stuff, heel stuff from Roman as always. The Usos did their thing. Everybody here played their part perfectly, and it was wonderful. Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, they got in the ring, they got to touch each other and hit each other, and it was great to see. Great finish too, with Jay Uso looking for a Uso splash, but Riddle getting up, going to the top rope, and getting an RKO off the top. And then while that was happening, Roman Reigns blind tag Jay Uso, so he's legal man. He came in, speared Riddle, 1, 2, 3. The Bloodline wins the match, continues on being this, and we'll now see where they go from here right now. Roman Reigns is still the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. The Usos, SmackDown champions, RK Bro, tag champions. Still hoping that maybe they will combine those titles. I'd like to see that. And we'll see what else happens now with Drew McIntyre, and is he now the next guy for Roman Reigns? Very funny over the weekend. Roman Reigns did a promo in New Jersey where he said that you probably won't see him anymore as he's going into another phase of his life and career. And a lot of people think maybe that means that Roman Reigns is getting ready to walk away from WWE, or he's getting ready to do movies or something like that. You know, but I think one guy had it correctly. I think this is just, and I have to get out off of this. I'm gonna listen to the Fightful, listen to the Fightful show on YouTube, and I'm sure Sean Sapp has some stuff on Roman that he'll tell on there. But I think somebody says that, but this just means that Roman Reigns isn't going to do these small shows anymore because they were in Trenton, New Jersey. Meaning that he's probably not going to. Meaning that he's gotten to that point where now he doesn't even do the shows anymore. He doesn't do small shows. He probably doesn't even really do the big towns really a lot. If he do the big towns, be like once maybe once or twice a month. Maybe when they go on the road. So he's getting to that point. I think that's probably more the thing. Like he's not gonna be doing the live show in New Jersey, or the live show in Biloxi, Mississippi, the live show in Rockford, Illinois. When he comes to Chicago, maybe you might see him. He goes to Atlantic City, New Jersey. You might see him like goes to Jackson, Mississippi. I ain't do Jackson, Mississippi, but you know what I mean. If a live event is in one of the big shows, you may see him there. You may see him at a garden show, but you probably won't see him in Trenton, New Jersey. So I think that's what that mostly means. But we'll wait and see what comes out over the next couple of days. And that was WrestleMania Backlash. We had 2 4.5-star matches, a 4.25-star match. We had a 3.25 match. We had 2.25 matches. And really, when it comes down to it, it wasn't like those matches were really that bad. It just maybe circumstances wasn't, again, good enough to where anything like that. I think once you get to 2.5 and over, the match it's okay. And this is just under just 2.25, so it's just it's a little under okay. So whatever. This is another fantastic show. Great work from these guys. I think it was awesome. And this is right now. WWE is on the roll, and I think it's totally possible that we're not just seeing good stuff or average stuff. We're seeing great stuff on each and every show. Raw on SmackDown, Raw and SmackDown, Raw and SmackDown in the pay-per-view. And there's a lot of people out here that just they'll tell you that WWE is not doing well. Bullshit. They are doing awesome right now, and it is wonderful to see. Before we end this live stream, by the way, this is my first time live streaming to many platforms. Not only are you watching this on YouTube, but you're seeing this on my Twitter, on my Twitter account. You're seeing this on my Twitch account. You're seeing this on the D Live app, and you have seen this on Daily Motion. If it is showing, I've had a real big problem with Daily Motion. We're trying to get that to work and anything like that. So you maybe not seeing it, maybe you aren't. But let's go ahead and let's check my predictions. I was bad this week too, so I had Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey was correct. Drew McIntyre, RK Bro, that was wrong. Seth Rollins, that was wrong. AJ Styles, that was wrong. Madcap Moss, that was right. Omos, that was right. So I went 3 for 3. 3 for 3 in my predictions for WrestleMania Backlash, bringing me to record on the year of 33-14. So there we have it. I'll see if I can do better next month with Hell in a Cell. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys did. Let me know what you guys thought about WrestleMania Backlash, all the other stuff that goes along with it. And yeah, we'll see what goes down. Thanks for everybody watching on all the other platforms, things like that. I appreciate it. This is going to be the new norm. My rapid reactions for WWE events and my reactions for other major type of events will be live streamed across many platforms, not just on YouTube, on my Twitch channel, on Twitter, on things like that, and wherever get the money, we'll do it on my Facebook page as well. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. Hopefully, I have a better share. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.